fly.
Excellent. Good morning, Ohio. It's James Lewis of This Dream House, the show that's all about the house. Joining us today is the legend Jake the Snake Roberts. He is currently on the Dirty Details Tour, or the DDT, so we're excited about that. So how did you get your start in wrestling?
Oh my God, that's a couple of light years away. My father wrestled, and he didn't ever raise me, but he was legally my dad. And as a kid, you want your father to be proud of you, and you want him, of course, you want him to come to your ball games and all that. And I never did. As I grew up, I blamed wrestling for keeping him away from me. And the truth was, he just wasn't a good father. He was going to take care of his career, and that was it. So, as I got older, I was really wanting to hear him say, "I'm proud of you." Because as a kid, you strive for that. You're hungry for that. And it just never happened. So when I graduated from high school, I was the first person in my family to ever graduate from high school, and with honors. I was going to go to college and become an architect, and I went and seen him because he didn't show up for graduation. Too much for him. But I told him, I'm going to go to college. I'm really going to do good. And he said, "Well, I hope you don't want anything from me." And I'm like, "Wow, man, you haven't given me anything your whole life. Not even your time." So it really hurt. That he wouldn't give it up. And a few nights later, with the help of alcohol and youthful ignorance, my mind told me, if you want your dad to be proud of you, what you need to do is get up there in that ring and beat up one of those wrestlers, and your dad will have to be proud of you. Made sense to me. And that's what I attempted. And I got my rear end handed to me. This old fella, he knew who I was, so he could have hurt me really bad, but he didn't. He hurt me, though. Stretched me out really good, and he caused me to urinate on myself, and it was quite exciting. And I crawled back to the locker room, and my father was standing there, and he just looked down at me and said, "I'm ashamed of you. You're gutless, and you'll never amount to much of anything," and walked away. And that's not what I wanted to hear. My father was a lot bigger than I am. He was 7 foot and weighed 425 pounds. And but that night, I gave up my dreams of becoming an architect and decided I was going to become a wrestler, and I was going to be better than he ever was, and yada, yada, yada. And then I spent the next 40 years doing it, and afterwards I realized it didn't even matter. That it still wasn't going to get what I wanted from him. A lesson learned in life: you can't choose the way people love you. And he gave what he gave, and that was it. So that's how I got started, man. Not the right way, the worst way possible, because I tried to take shortcuts. I was angry. I was frustrated. I wasn't into doing it, but as I kept doing it, I fell in love with it.
Did you have any other family members that were in the wrestling business that you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my half-sister, Rockin' Robin, wrestled and was a champion WWE. My half-brother, Sam Houston, was also a wrestler, and he did quite well, too. But I was the one that touched all the lights and did the big stuff, I guess. And, I did it for 36 years. I had a very successful career. After I finally got going, when I say got going, when I finally worked my way up the ladder, once I got to the top, I never came down. And that's pretty amazing to be at the top of your field for 30 years or better. And it's still looked upon as one of the best ever. So I did it, but I did it for the wrong reasons.
What could modern wrestling learn from the Mid-South wrestling?
They could learn how to wrestle. Mid-South wrestling was the best. They were the elite, and package. You couldn't just be one-dimensional. You couldn't be just a great athlete. You couldn't be just a great talker. You had to be able to do it all. And unfortunately, the guys today don't get the opportunity to learn all that. You don't learn how to be a professional wrestler in a year. It takes years to learn how to be a proper professional wrestler. And the young guys today, they're phenomenal athletes, and they go out there and they literally kill themselves trying to ring that bell, you know, and it's just not going to happen because these guys don't understand it. They don't have the psychology for it. They don't know how to weave a story together. And I hate it for them because they're missing out on all the joy of wrestling. You know, I mean, you should love what you're doing. And wrestling is an art, man. It was an art. But now it's, you know, it's pretty much gone to the flash and bang and bright lights and pyrotechnics and yada yada, you know, instead of, you know, they've used that now instead of learning how to do your craft. That's a shame.
During your time in Stampede Wrestling, you worked with Bret Hart a little bit?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were roommates for a while. Yeah. Good times, man.
Do you feel the Montreal Screwjob was fake?
Yes. I think it was all horse crap, man, because number one, it was real. Number two, what the hell was Bret thinking? He didn't win that title. That title was given to him. How dare him balk at doing what your owner wants you to do? Your job as a professional wrestler is to get it handed to you, and then you go out and perform. Well, Bret, once he got to the top, he wasn't going to go anywhere else, and he wasn't going to do certain things anymore. You know, which is just insanity. Insanity. And because he had a personal issue with Shawn Michaels, they let their personal issue get in between having good matches. You know, I was there during that era, and it was horrifying. We would go to Right Television, and we would have to get on the phone for hours and beg those two to wrestle each other, beg those two to do a certain thing, beg those two to be nice. Are you serious? You know, sometimes, and I told McMahon this, I told him, I said, you know, Vince, the inmates are running the asylum right now. And that's what was happening. You know, the wrestlers were telling Vince what they would not do. You can't run a company like that. You know, pretty soon, you got too many people pulling too many different ways. And there needs to be one chief and a lot of Indians. That's the right way to do it.
Possibly one of the few wrestlers that were actually physically bigger than your father, Andre the Giant. What was it like to go from his driver to his opponent?
Scared in hell, man. I'm number one, I was in shock that it was even happening. Number two, I was amazed at how willing he was to make it work. He tested me one time, and that was the first night to see if I was going to, you know, cower down and roll over and be a whip puppy, or if I was going to get up and fight. And I chose to fight. And he respected that, and he thanked me for it. And after that, we went out there and we had a great time. That's not to say he didn't rough me up from time to time, because he did. You know, somebody that weighs 500 and something pounds, man, if he's just a quarter of an inch off, you're talking some serious problems. And he adjusted my spinal cord a few times by squashing me into corners and stuff. And but that's part of it. You know, it wasn't done mean. It wasn't done because he was sloppy. It was just because of his size. But I had a wonderful time, and it was such a great honor for me. That's probably the biggest honor I received in wrestling, was having that opportunity to be in the ring with that man when, you know, it's just, he was such an amazing man and performer. But come on, folks, I mean, on the comedy tour, I make a joke out of the whole thing. I said, what did I ever do to you wrestling fans that you guys cheered me on to wrestle Andre the Giant? Well, why don't you just send me to the slaughter? My God, the guy he outweighs me 2-1. He weighs 550, I weigh 250. Wait a minute, there's something wrong here. Houston, we have a problem. And so the wrestling fans accused him of sending me off the slaughter because I remember one night I had a wrestling fan hand me a chair ringside. Hit him with this, Jake. I'm like, bullshit. You hit him with it. I'm not getting near that son of a bitch. I wanted to run, man. Are you kidding me?
So who was your
Great
favorite
moments.
guest on the Snake Pit?
Oh, I don't think I had a favorite guest on there. I didn't much like doing that because I was kind of handcuffed in it and wasn't really allowed to do what I like to do. So that really wasn't that much fun, Yeah, the Hogan thing would have been great, but it was never shown because the fans, they pulled one on me. They cheered me when I DDT'd him, and that's not what Vince McMahon wanted, so it was never shown.
Exactly, because of all the marketing dollars being paid
Yep,
to him.
absolutely, man. Absolutely.
So
hopefully the fans will show up to some of these comedy shows because they really cost me a lot of money back then.
Oh, definitely. I can imagine that will show up on the 7th and 8th. 7th in Columbus, Ohio. 8th in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh, yeah, we go to Dayton. Actually, I'm doing 57 cities in 61 days.
Oh, my.
So, it's a hell of a task in front of me, and I couldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it. And I do enjoy going out there and giving these stories and moments in wrestling to the fans. The fans deserve to hear them. Without the fans, you have nothing. And fans supported me even whenever I didn't deserve it. They still didn't give up on me, even though I'd given up on myself. And so this is for me and the fans. For me, I get to go out there and tell stories, and I get to hear the fans' stories, and it reminds me that all those years that I sacrificed doing what I was doing was worth it because the fans had those moments locked in their lives, and I was a part of their life at that time. So that tells me it was this sweet. And this helps me, actually. I mean, as you get older, your memory starts to go, and mine certainly has from all the concussions and stuff. But by doing these shows, it's amazing how many new stories I've remembered since I started doing this show, because something happens to the brain and it clicks, or somebody will say something that causes something else to spark up, and that memory comes to my mind. So it's really helping my memory. If you don't use it, you lose it.
Exactly. And one of the great things, the way I understand it, it's a different show every night with you. So it's not, it's not like you have a cookie cutter script.
No. I don't do that, man. I never did do that. Not in the ring and not out of the ring. I just go out there and I just open my mouth, and whatever comes out is going to roll on out, And I open it up for a Q&A at the end of the show so the fans can ask me the questions they never thought they'd be able to ask professional wrestlers. So it's their show. I'm just going to throw some stuff out there. They're going to give me names along the way that they want to hear about. I'm going to go that way with it, man. I'm there to satisfy them and myself. But they're going to get what they want more than they expected.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was going to say it's a great event. Obviously, the main two, because it airs in our network, are Columbus, and that is going to be on October 7th, 7 p.m.
Yep.
That one is 21 and up. So is that one extra special or something?
No, they're all 21 and up, bro. I can't, I might go 18, but that's about it. I can't go any younger than that because some of the stuff's just pretty raw.
Understandable.
And beyond raw. I mean, come on, you got 30 wrestlers in a room. What do you expect? It's not going to be choir practice. There were some pretty crazy things done, and sometimes it wasn't in the ring. It might have been in a strip joint or a bar or in the locker room. No matter where it was going on. I mean, that snake showed up in so many different places and got me in so much trouble. Now the fans are going to get to hear all the funny moments.
Exactly. Not that you have to go into it, but I think one of the especially interesting ones is how you met Sensational Sherry. I think that
Oh yeah,
definitely qualifies as a
yeah.
18
Special moment. Oh, definitely, man. Definitely. Lesson learned in life, man. Be careful what you look for. I just hope everybody comes out, brings their memorabilia along. I'll be glad to sign that stuff up for them. Of course, we have merchandise that we bring along because you got to pay for the tour. But it's going to be a blast, man. Every night is going to be a blast. I have no doubt in my mind about that.
And the nice thing is, it's only been about a year since you've been in Cincinnati. You did Mad Frog a little bit ago.
Yep. I've been able to get back out to some of these places, and unfortunately, once again, I'm not going to have time to really look around the areas. But maybe someday I'll get that moment to where I can go actually spend 2 or 3 days in town and really look things over. But I'm going to catch something while I'm there. I'm going to give a peek at something. So I really enjoy the Midwest, man. The folks there just seem more down home and real, if you will, than up there on that East Coast, man. They move too fast and got too many things going on up there. So I'm glad to slow down a little bit and get through the Midwest.
Excellent. So before we let you go,
Yep.
I want to pick your brain on AEW. What do you think about that new organization?
Well, they had the opportunity, and that was pretty simple. It's been needed so long. Vince has needed someone to challenge him because anytime you have a challenge, you're going to up your own game. If they do it, they can come out winning. Not winning the war because your Vince is too far ahead. He's so far out there now, it would take years to overtake that machine. Everything that he's got going with that thing, man, with the merchandising packages he has, with the companies all over the world, it's going to take a while. And you see, he's already stepped up his game. He's put part of the show on Fox now. And he's opened up another show, with the NXT guys. So he sees the threat coming, but now it's up to to AEW to do the right thing. And the right thing is give the people what they want. Wrestling. That's on the marquee. You advertise it, wrestling. They want to go out and do it. Instead, we have a 3-hour program that we get 35 minutes of wrestling on. That's a joke.
I agree.
That's obscene. There isn't any wrestling anymore. Give me a 25-minute match with Harley Race. Give me a 20-minute match with, Nick Bockwinkel and Vern Gagne or something, man. Give me something with some substance to it. Get the Briscoe brothers back out there. Hell, let's have a good damn time. I want to see some wrestling.
So before we let you go, the Dirty Details Tour, it's the main shows for our listeners are going to be the Funny Bone in Columbus on the 7th at 7 p.m. and the Liberty Township on the 8th at 7:30 p.m. Sound correct, Jake?
Yep, and I'll be running through Dayton and Indianapolis and everything, so pick up your phones and do something about it, folks. Come on out and see me. Don't piss me off. You'll make me mad.
Sounds good. Where on the social media, where on the web should they check you out at?
Jake and Jake the Snake Roberts.
Excellent. Jake, thank you for being on the show today.
Yeah, thanks a lot.